and good afternoon from a very, very chaotic Nairobi International Airport. What did you think of that experience?
I don't recommend.
Super chaotic, getting through security and stuff here. But with that being said, we're about to hop on a Kenya Airways flight down to Mombasa, a place I've wanted to go for a super, super long time. We just drove about 4 to 5 hours from the Masai Mara to get here, and we made it just in time for an earlier flight, so we're taking a 2 p.m. flight down to Mombasa. With that being said, I'm going to stop talking. Let's journey down to Mombasa. Well guys, welcome to Mombasa, Kenya. After a 4-hour drive and an hour flight, we're finally here in Mombasa. I'll give you guys an Airbnb tour after we go grab something to eat. We're kind of in like a hybrid between a hotel and condos here in Mombasa, right on the little peninsula across from the actual downtown area of Mombasa, right near the Indian Ocean. So super excited to be here. Let's go grab something to eat. It's been a super, super long day. And yeah, I'm super stoked to be here. Again, I've wanted to come here for a long time. So I'm super excited to explore Mombasa with you guys. Let's get started right now. What do you think about Mombasa so far?
I love.
Super beautiful here, guys. A little bit of food right by the pool here in the canal, and right over there across from me is the old town of Mombasa. Beautiful. So guys, welcome here to Mombasa. Today was a long travel journey all the way from the Masai Mara down here. Like I said, it was about a 4.5, 5-hour drive, then getting to the airport in Nairobi, then about an hour flight down here. But this place is beautiful, and I have to be honest, I think so far this is my favorite part of Kenya, and I've only been here for a couple hours. The wildlife is incredible in the Masai Mara, but as a city vibe here, it's really awesome, full of life, and the ocean is gorgeous. So I'm really looking forward to the next couple days of being to discover just the city and the beaches around here. It should be an incredible experience. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna head back up. I'm gonna give you guys an Airbnb tour and kind of just take it easy. The last couple days with the safari just really beat us up. So tomorrow we'll be discovering some more here of Mombasa. All right, everybody, welcome to our Airbnb here in Mombasa. Like I said, this Airbnb isn't a complex, it's a combination of condominiums along with a hotel, and it has this kind of like common resort area where there's some restaurants and a pool. But let me give you guys a quick tour, and it's a pretty big place. It costs $185 USD per night here in Mombasa. Check it out. Starting off here in the front door, this is a little cleaning supply area followed by the kitchen. Bedroom numero uno, bathroom. Coming over this way, another bathroom here. Another bedroom, although the bed is not made because we told them it was only 2 of us staying here. Come over this way, got TV, couches, little table set up here. Kenna's out there hanging out on the patio. Got the bedroom we're gonna be sleeping in, followed by the master bath, which is right here. Got a shower and all that. Then you come over this way, leads to the patio. There's McKenna. Couches. The couch, table, and there's the pool that we were just at with Mombasa. Beautiful scenery here. So yeah, that's kind of the value for your dollar here, $185 per night, which I think is a super good deal. I gotta say, I'm already in love with Mombasa. With that being said, we're gonna kind of relax, unwind, maybe head down for some dinner, but I'm gonna catch you guys tomorrow as we head, I believe, to a place called Diani Beach, which we're gonna be taking a ferry over there. One of the most famous beaches in Kenya. So for now, I'll see you guys tomorrow. everybody from day 2 here in Mombasa. Heading down to get a little bit of breakfast and then going to be catching a ferry to Diani Beach, which, as I discussed last night, is one of the most beautiful beaches here in Kenya. So let's grab some food and head out into Mombasa to catch the ferry. So they wouldn't let me record in the restaurant, but right now we're just kind of walking here on this little pier area, and our place is behind there. So kind of cool to just look in the water and stuff. So starting a little bit later than anticipated, but we're currently in an Uber on the way to the ferry to go down to Diani Beach. It's actually only about 20 miles from Mombasa, but the quickest way is a ferry. You can take a taxi too, which is about an hour and a half. We're gonna try the ferry out, and that should also be an hour and a half, so I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Online there's not a whole lot of information about it, so we're kind of just going in blindly and gonna see what happens. But about 15 minutes at the center of Mombasa to catch the ferry. Let's do it. So we are going to stay with our driver, and we're gonna stay in the car, get on the ferry, and then the ferry will take us to Diani. It's cost me, I'm paying him like $20. You can go on foot, but we thought it might just be easier to just stay in there because there's an additional drive after the ferry gets there that you have to take to Diani, like another like 30 minutes maybe or something. Right now we're just in line with all the other cars to get on the ferry. And 10 minutes later, we made it across the channel. Now we got another like 30 or 40 minutes to get to Diani. So, if you do take the ferry by foot, there's a bunch of tuk-tuks on the other side that can pick you up and take you farther. My recommendation would be to pay a taxi to just stay in. It seems like it goes a lot smoother. There's not a ton of videos on YouTube of this either. The ferry is just about a 10-minute ferry ride between the mainland, or excuse me, the main island of Mombasa to the other side of the mainland of Kenya. The highway doesn't connect around, so that's why you have to take the little ferry and then keep driving. So you're better off just hiring one taxi when you're in Mombasa to take you all the way to Diani. Because even if you take the little ferry, you're gonna have to get on another taxi or Uber or whatever to keep going. So you're better off just staying in the same one. Well guys, we made it here to Diani Beach here in Kenya. This is my first time actually at the Indian Ocean, which is super, super epic. With that being said, we paid about, I believe it was 1,500 shillings or 3,000 total shillings to come to this resort here for the day, for a day pass. I believe the only way you can come to Diani for the day is to pay one of the resorts resort fee, but it's super reasonable, and you get access to all the facilities and stuff. So right now I'm just chilling, looking out at the ocean. McKenna's down there taking photos, and I'm gonna go down and get some better views for you. Might swim a little bit, just kind of take it easy. It's like almost 4 o'clock here right now. We kind of got here a little bit later in the day, but yeah, super happy to be here, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Well guys, these are my first steps in the Indian Ocean in my life, so this is super epic here. There's a lot of activities out here. I'm not sure if you can see it behind me, but by the way, there's a wave break behind me where there's a bunch of people out on a sandbar. I'm pretty sure too, if you're staying in this area, you can go on a bunch of different snorkeling adventures. I know there's some sport fishing actually done here, but honestly, my overall impression of the beach is it is beautiful, but it gets really, really exhausting. We're just sitting up there and it's just constant salesmen trying to sell you stuff the whole time, and it just gets kind of exhausting after a while. And we've been here about an hour, and it's just like, I mean, every 5-10 minutes, and then the minute that you walk down onto the beach, I mean, I'm here in the water right now, but if you're anywhere on the beach within, I would say like 5 minutes, unless you're up in the resort area, they'll come up to you and start, whether it's a safari, snorkeling adventure, or whatever. Just kind of keep that in mind if you do come here, spend an amount of time here. a lot of people are going to be trying to sell you stuff. So it's just kind of trying something to kind of keep in mind. But either way, the water's beautiful, super warm, and if you are here in Mombasa, this is a great beach. There's other ones too close to the city. This one took us about an hour and a half to get to, but definitely a place you can come here in Kenya, and it's absolutely gorgeous here on the Indian Ocean. Well guys, Diani Beach wasn't a huge hit with McKenna and Garrett. I'll explain a little bit more when we get back to our hotel in Mombasa, but
Here we go.
for now, I'll explain some more when we get there, but for now, our driver's coming back and we have an hour and a half drive back to Mombasa. Alright guys, so we're back here at the Airbnb, and I just wanted to leave some quick thoughts about the whole Diani Beach situation. It's rated one of the best beaches in Kenya, and I completely see why. It's absolutely gorgeous. The only downside is, and don't get me wrong, I understand people are trying to make a living. I'm not trying to discredit that or hate on that or whatever. You know, people have to make money and I understand it. But it gets really tiring. I mean, we were there for an hour and a half. And I mean, we pretty much tried to get sold on something, I would say almost the entirety that we were there. And like, it's not like, I've been to 48 countries so far, and it just gets tiring because it's like, it's more aggressive there than in places I've been in the past with trying to sell stuff. And then I saw someone try and buy aloe vera for a cut, and the salesman got super aggressive, demanding more money and stuff. And it's just, it takes away from the experience. I understand people are trying to sell stuff, you know, there's good people there. There's people that are trying to sell coconuts or whatever have you. Hey, no thank you, okay, no problem. You know, and I'm not a rude person, but just some of it was very aggressive, and it just, I mean, you really couldn't even sit there for more than, I would say, 10 minutes by yourself without trying to get sold on something. And it just at times got super aggressive and a little bit uncomfortable. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're gonna be there. Like even in the resort area, there's nothing that separates the beach from there, so the salesman will just come up to you and stuff. And again, like I said, I understand people are trying to make a living. It was just the way, like in terms of the aggressiveness, that I wasn't a huge fan of. But leave a comment below if you agree. I don't know, someone may think that I'm crazy, but that was just my experience. However, with that being said, we're gonna head into the old town of Mombasa and check out Fort Jesus, which is one of the top things to do here. So we're gonna go get dressed and head out for the day. Let's go. So we are about to hop in an Uber and head to Fort Jesus here in Mombasa, which is one of the most historical sites here. Mombasa has a super long history with different people settling here, such as the Portuguese and the English, and a lot of trading done, obviously, because it's a port town here on the Indian Ocean. So super interested to see the old town area in Fort Jesus, and yeah, not super sure what to expect, but let's go for it. Hello. For those of you that have seen the movie Captain Phillips, Mombasa kind of plays a role in that movie as well. That's the port that the ship was going to from Salalah, Oman, down to Mombasa in Kenya. Obviously, the ship was seized off the coast of Somalia, but just another little interesting fact here about Mombasa. The port is super important. A lot of hectic traffic here in Mombasa. There's also a main market, I think, that might be closed now. It's about 2 p.m. in the afternoon when I'm shooting this, so I'm not 100% sure, but a little more history. There's a lot more of a Muslim influence here in Mombasa compared to Nairobi due to the Omani rule here. I believe two different times the Omanis ruled here, and the Arabs there's quite an Arab influence here in Mombasa compared to Nairobi. Have you been enjoying your Mombasa adventure so far? The driving here is just chaos. I mean, there's people driving on like the sidewalk that are filled with people just to get by if there's like a little traffic jam. Glad I didn't rent a car.
Okay,
thank you. So we finally made it into Fort Jesus after one of the most complicated ordeals to get into a place I've ever seen. You have to fill out this e-citizen thing for Kenya, and any photo you upload, it will not take of your passport. So I was sitting there, it literally took me 30 minutes, and I finally was like, can I please just give you cash? He was like, yeah, no problem. So like, I don't know what the point of it is. The guy accepted cash, but the whole like system for it is super funky and doesn't work. So it was just really frustrating. Either way, we're here in Fort Jesus. Let's check it out. So the history that I do know about Fort Jesus is it was put here, I believe, in the 15th century, and obviously I'm going to look for some sites to give you some better information, by the Portuguese. Kind of as their staple is that we're going to stay here. As I said on the car ride here, Mombasa is an extremely important port town, especially on the Indian Ocean, so that's why it's changed rule many times between the Portuguese, the British, and the Omanis. But yeah, it's a super cool old fort. Some Omani soldier wear. If you look through this hole here, I don't have my bigger lens on, but that's where we're staying. So if you are planning on visiting some heritage sites, this is the first one we've kind of seen here in Kenya. I would highly recommend looking up the Kenya e-visa, or excuse me, not e-visa, e-citizen thingy, because it is extremely frustrating to do on your phone. So if you want to save yourself some time, go ahead and do it on a computer or prior to your trip, because it's hard, and like you can't get it to take the passport photo. Every file size it says is too large. I mean, I zoomed it all the way down and it wouldn't take it. It didn't make any sense. And then the guy ultimately ended up taking cash. So like, I don't.
But he charged you more.
Yeah, he did charge me more, and then he tried to not give me back the 50 shillings. That it was 24.50. Should have been 2,400, but I was like, whatever, I'll give you 2,450, it's fine. I gave him 2,500, and then I had to ask for the shillings back. He was like, oh yeah, I'll give you 50 shillings. And then I was walking away, and I was like, could I have it, please? And he gave it to me, so I don't know. A little complicated getting in here, so note that if you are here in Mombasa. A little bit of a process, but you can alleviate it if you go on the e-visa, so, or I keep saying that, the e-citizen. So it might have been self-induced on my part. Up here on my right, it says these are ruins of a Portuguese chapel, kind of in the courtyard area here. Right back there. An Omani well is right here. Kind of random, but there's a whale skeleton here in the courtyard area. Apparently in 1992, a humpback whale washed ashore, and I guess this is where they keep it. Kind of cool. Alright guys, we're gonna head out here of Fort Jesus and head to the old town here in Mombasa and see if maybe we can grab something to eat, quick coffee or something, and we might need to hit an ATM. Highly recommend carrying cash here rather than card. The card situation can get a little bit complicated in terms of some machines work, some don't, but everyone generally accepts cash. So just kind of keep that in mind before you come here. Right now we're walking through the old town, some hostels and stuff here and some coffee shops, and it's obviously the more historical part of the city, so it's been kind of cool to see kind of the historical aspect or side of Mombasa. Lots of trash, as you can see, a lot of trash and things here. The old town was a bit quiet. I think maybe because it's a Monday, it seems like there's more stuff closed here. So we're heading back to the main road towards Fort Jesus to try and find an ATM and try and get something to drink because we're both really thirsty and it's kind of hot. So up here for some waters. And once we leave, we're going to be walking about 20 minutes to a place that is a little bit of historical significance of these tusks that are over the road, and it's to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's visit here to Mombasa, and they're made in 1952, so we're going to be walking to there and get a little bit of a walkthrough of the downtown area as well. We're off again now on our way towards the more downtown area in Mombasa. Like I said, I think it's a Monday here, and I think most of the things are closed on Monday, especially in the old town. It was really quiet, so we're heading back towards more where a lot of the action is in the downtown area of Mombasa. We found our bank. Alright, so cash is out. Now, let's head into the downtown area. The downtown area here is super, super busy. The traffic was insane when we were driving in. And if you don't know, Mombasa is on an island, so you have to cross a bridge one way or the other to get onto the main city and downtown area here, which is interesting. This is interesting. So there's a Mombasa Training Institute for Aviation. Fly your career high. Aeronautical engineering, operations, travel and tourism. Interesting. Some of the harsh realities here in Kenya is some of the poverty here is absolutely heartbreaking. You see young children begging for anything. Very difficult to witness in person. The area down here is filled with banks, pharmacies, everything. This is probably the busiest area here in Mombasa that I've experienced. And we made it here to the elephant tusks monument here, down on the main street here. Did you think it was worth the walk?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Calling an Uber back now.
Hello. Garrett?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you? On our way back to the Airbnb now, and it was a really good experience getting to walk the streets here in Mombasa. I enjoyed it. It was a place, like I said, I've wanted to go for a very long time. So to be able to finally be here, such a unique part of the world, for me is fascinating. So Mombasa, thanks for having me. It's been really good. Tomorrow's starting the journey home to San Francisco. It's gonna be a long travel day. I will be featuring a video from that. It's gonna be its own video. Super special experience going back home to San Francisco. But it will be a long travel day. So about 29 to 30 hours to get home. But my experience in Kenya was fantastic. Would highly recommend you to come here if you get the chance. The safari was absolutely incredible. Nairobi was really cool, but I would say the beauty of the country is outside of Nairobi, which I think you can find in most countries in the world outside of the capital city. My recommendations would be, if you're gonna go do some historical sites and museums, do the e-citizen thing. Just Google Kenya e-citizen, I'm sure it'll pop up. Next, carry more cash. My mistake here was relying on card more, and I should have known better. But use more cash, it'll make your life a lot easier. And other than that, that's really all I got. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Saying goodbye from Mombasa, Kenya, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.